best of me in the future, 5 years from now. In 5 years from now, I will be 20. I envision myself in my second year of pre-veterinary school at Guelph University after graduating with honors from high school. I will be living off campus in a shared apartment with a few roommates to share the rent. To pay off my student loans and rent, I'll be working part-time at an animal shelter or a part-time job. My evidence to support these predictions starts with graduating from honors from high school and getting into Guelph University. This can be backed up as I have graduated every year of school on the honor roll. Not only does my report card display evidence, but my learning goals in my IPP as well. My best learning skills, including responsibility, organization, and self-regulation, are key learning skills to performing well in class and achieving high grades that will ultimately result in being on honor roll. For more proof, www.goconquer.com listed study habits of top students that stem from my learning skills, like creating a study plan, organization, taking study breaks, self-regulation, and asking questions, responsibility. Also, my career cluster displays evidence, as it said to take all science, math, and English courses possible, and on my grade 11 and 12 course plans in my IPP, I have. Relying on my past academic performance and grades, as well as my learning skills and proof mentioned above, graduating with a mark of 90% or honors will set me a base for being accepted into pre-veterinary school and honor roll. To back up me living off campus, it's typically cheaper to live there, according to www.investopedia.com, especially when bunking with roommates. I will have to live off campus and not at home because it's about 2 hours away, and I won't be able to afford the gas from commuting there every day. As proof for my ability to have a part-time job whilst in school, one of my stronger work habits is multitasking. I have learned to create a healthy balance between my schoolwork and my recreational activities. This can be proved through playing volleyball in my grade 9 year. I was putting in around 8 hours a week while still balancing my school responsibilities. Also, my learning skill of self-regulation, as shown in my IPP, shows my ability to spend more time on what's necessary or prioritize. Possible transitions in this stage of my life can include rejection from vet school or my preferred university, and severe debt. In case of rejection, I can opt for my backup plan. My backup plan is to pursue electrical engineering, which has the same high school prerequisites as a vet does. Rejection from my preferred university can include applying to one of my backup schools, like the Veterinary School for Montreal, and then applying the next year. Lastly, in the case of severe debt, I can ask my parents for assistance, or take a year off school after high school and work full-time to save money. 10 years from now. In 10 years, I will be 25 and starting my third year of veterinary school after receiving my Bachelor of Science in pre-veterinary program. I will be focusing solely on my schoolwork and will not have time for a part-time job. In this area of my life, I will be focused specifically on my schoolwork, taking a break from working, and using my loans to pay for tuition, my materials, and rent, as I will still be living off campus. To back up me being accepted into a veterinary program, you need a 3.5 grade to be accepted according to a veterinarian's blog on blogspot.com. I believe I can achieve this as shown through my past academic performance, receiving a 95 average in my first year of high school. Considering a 3.5 is below that, I believe if I continue to use my learning skills and work habits that have greatly helped me thus far, especially as high school becomes harder, I will be able to settle or surpass a 3.5. Although my current learning skills displayed in my student assessment record show that although I'm not perfect in all skills, I still maintain an excellent in all of them. These will help me if I continue to use them in my schoolwork. Also, in my IPP, my job/career quiz reflected that based off of my skills and interests, the veterinary job would suit me and my learning skills. From the angle of tuition and other expenses, I should be able to afford them from a mixture of student loans and my parents assisting me, as they have already expressed they can help me and are financially stable. Potential changes can include not being accepted into the veterinary program. From this, I can look to my backup schools like the Veterinary School of Montreal. Should all of these fail, I will pursue my backup career in electrical engineering as the required courses are very similar. 15 years from now. In 15 years, I will be 30. I will be done my veterinary school and working in a clinic. I will have worked off over half of my student loans and likely be living in a small apartment with a few friends to share the rent. At this stage in my life, I will be focusing on getting the workplace experience and paying back my $200,000 debt. As proof that I can be accepted into veterinary school, I now need to prove that I can graduate. It will be very difficult, but proven by my grades in school and my past academic performance on exams, I'm confident I can pass. My learning skills and work habits, including organization, responsibility, and self-regulation, show that if I maintain these, I should be able to succeed. Also, my IPP shows that my learning styles are a combination of tactile, auditory, and visual learning. This will help me graduate as lessons are taught in many different ways, and you need to be a well-rounded student to be able to pass. This combination of quizzes, tests, and assignments in my IPP and e-portfolio prove that with my learning skills and learning styles, I will be able to graduate veterinary school. The proof of me working in a clinic can be proved through the mass amounts of clinics in my area. In fact, there are 20 veterinary clinics/hospitals within Oshawa to Bowmanville. My learning skills of initiative and organization will help me research where help is needed and take the extra mile to look for work. Also, only a small amount of Ontario citizens are vets, just over 5,000 compared to our 13.6 million population. This shows, as the field is smaller, it will be easier to get a job at a clinic. Lastly, family connections. I have a family friend who works for a vet clinic and can therefore help assist me in getting a job, or advice on where to start in places that need the help. Potential changes can include not passing the final exam. In that case, I can retake the exam next year. Knowing the format and required material after already taking the exam should allow me to pass the next one should I need to. Another potential issue includes not being able to get a job. In this case, I will work full-time for another job to continue to pay off my loans, whilst applying to every clinic possible until I can land a job. 25 years. In 25 years, I will be 40 years old. I will be working at a clinic and have a house with kids and a husband, and will have no student loans. At this stage in my life, my goals are uncomplicated, only to be working at a steady job that pays for my house and my children's expenses. Proof to support this conjecture can be taken from my previous evidence. My ability to land a job will be a product of my initiative and organization learning skills. I will work full-time at a smaller job at a clothing store, for example, whilst applying to interning at clinics or working wherever I can. I will apply to every clinic or hospital within a 15-mile radius until I can land myself a job. After working, I will live in a shared apartment with friends or with my parents until I'm able to pay off my loans enough to buy a house. Proof that supports this includes my learning skill of self-regulation. This, being one of my strongest skills, will prove that I will be patient and conserve my money until I am able to buy a house. More proof includes my career choice. Becoming a veterinarian is a long and difficult career choice. By willingly choosing and working hard for that many years to become a veterinarian proves my self-regulation, patience, and intelligence in being able to buy a house when I can afford it. Also, the considerable salary that a veterinarian makes is also proof of my ability to buy my own house. Potential complications in this stage of my life include the housing market being too expensive. In that case, I can move to an area like Peterborough, where it's cheaper. If I have a job here and I don't wish to commute, I can opt for a cheaper option like a townhouse or a condo in order to save money and still work here until I'm able to afford a house where I have near where my job is. Now what? In order to achieve these goals, I must continue to use the learning skills I have. Those learning skills, if followed, will help me greatly in my path towards being a veterinarian. To make these goals easier, I can start now by doing things like save money and work hard in school to maintain high grades in every subject. These goals are attainable, as proved from the various pieces of evidence. Now it's up to me to continue with them. Thank you for listening to my presentation of The Best of Me in the Future.